Hello and welcome. I'm Kaylin Pride with DETV, and today I have Emmanuel Jenkins with us from the Delaware Developmental Disabilities Council. Emmanuel, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So let's get started. Could you tell me a little bit about the Delaware Developmental Disabilities Council?
Yes, the Delaware Developmental Disabilities Council is a council made up of 23 individuals, primarily those with disabilities, family members, and we also have some community partners. The primary role of the council, also known as the DDC for short, our job is to educate, advocate, and inform the community.
So could you tell me a little bit about how you guys educate and advocate for the community?
What a great question. So we do all three of those roles simply by really being part of the community and really creating projects such as the Disability Pride project. We are primarily the central focus for those with disability in the state of Delaware. So our hope is that other agencies, community members will come to us for guidance and things of that nature so we can keep our finger on the pulse to hear what's happening to people with disabilities to fight for their rights.
So in terms of guidance, what type of guidance does this organization give?
So we are really heavy in legislation. So anything that is happening in legislation at our local spot, we're at the forefront of that. So we work really closely with legislators to help them write policy, help them pass laws, and we also have to defend some legislation as well for those that may not be as informed about different laws. Our job is to also not only educate but also defend some of the bills that are being passed that may not be right for people with disabilities.
So as the community relations officer, could you tell me a bit about your role in the organization?
Wow. My role is fairly new. I've been with the council for about 6 years now, but my role as the community relations officer happened shortly after the pandemic came. And my role is to really listen to the community. One of our other mandates is to hold other agencies accountable. So I'm the person that gets the phone calls from other individuals saying, hey, I got a child in school, or I'm working with an employer that may not be doing what I need them to do, or there's another disability agency that may not be giving me what I need. So my job is to be the one behind the computer, sending those emails, making the calls, to really make sure that people get what they need. Also, as the community relations officer, my job is to also deal with the media, the public, such as interviews like this, but also dealing with some newspapers and making sure that the image of the council is out to the public, and we really have a spotlight on who we are and what we do.
I love that. So you mentioned earlier about the Disability Pride project. Could you give me a little bit more information about that?
Yes, we are super excited about this project. As I said, I've been with the council for 6 years, and I believe this is one of our biggest projects as far as media recognition. But this Disability Pride is a glimpse into the lives of people with disabilities to give us an opportunity to share our pride with the community, to show people with and without disabilities that we can live our lives, that we can go to college, that we can be employed, that we can travel, and that we also have a rich culture. And we hope through the videos that we will show people that we have lives that we deserve to live and share our life and our gifts with the world.
That's amazing. So I believe that we have some of those videos to share, and I want to just dive right into the first one. Could you tell me a little bit about We Have a Rich Culture?
Yes, the rich culture video is one of my favorite videos out to this segment. But this rich culture video is another glimpse into the disability world. You'll see in the video where we have a young lady talking about the culture and how the culture is different for people with disabilities. But through the end of it, you'll see that we're all human, and we hope that the viewers will enjoy it.
Well, that's great, and we do hope the viewers will enjoy it, so please take a look.
Do not reject or neglect us, and don't try to kick us to the curb. For our ethnic diversities, we are many flavors, some with disability and many without disabilities. We are proud of being who we are: Black, white skin, Latinos, and many other ethnic groups. Practicing religion of our choice, nurturing our disabilities with our music, food for taste, and creative arts. Loved by our families, friends, and self-motivated. Our thoughts reflect mandate that we are equal in our society. We are a rich culture with many flavors integrated into today's society.
So, Emmanuel, could you tell me a little bit about how the Disability Pride Project came to become a media campaign?
Wow, what a wonderful question. The media campaign came about because, of course, the pandemic came. This original idea and project was going to be a day, and it was going to be basically set up like a festival to show our disability pride. We planned on having vendors and games and speakers, and then all of a sudden this little thing called a pandemic came. So we had to do what most people have done, and people with disabilities do it quite well, is to adapt. So we knew as a council to adapt, and the policy and law committee of our council decided to pivot to a media campaign.
Oh, wow. So why, of course, with the pandemic, no one was able to go out and be in person and do things. But like you just stated, the policy and law committee, why specifically did they want to make videos such as the one we just saw?
So, as we started to think about this, we could have had a day, people could have came out, we could have had all, bells and whistles and eat off the food trucks and things like that. But the great thing about a media campaign is the fact that it will live on forever. We get to educate, advocate, and inform timelessly, like good music. It never gets old. So our hope is that through our media campaign, it will never get old, and people will continue to watch them and be educated and entertained all in the same process.
Oh, wow. And let's take a look at our next video, Living My Best Life.
Mi nombre es Nancy Lemus. Mi hijo se llama Christopher García. Yo nací en México, nací en el estado de Guanajuato y he estado aquí en Delaware desde que tengo 4 años. Y Chris nació aquí. Él es un niño típico de 16 años. Cuando le conviene, le entiende, y cuando no, no entiende. Su maestro dice que él es el class clown. Que si alguien se ríe, alguien llora, alguien destornuda, él es el que está muerto de la risa. Chris entiende las malas palabras. Porque si tú dices una mala palabra, Chris está muerto de la risa. Si dices something fresh, él es el primero en estar muerto de la risa. Antes de COVID, él se iba al cine con su enfermero. Cada fin de semana se iban al cine. Chris le gustan los ruidos, incluso cuando otra gente se ríe, Le causa gracia escuchar las risas de otras personas. Entonces, si él va al cine y otra gente se está riendo, él también se está riendo. Le gusta viajar. Cuando viajamos en avión, su parte preferida de él es cuando arranca el avión, cuando hay turbulencia. Mientras otras personas están asustadas, él está feliz. Cuando aterriza y hay turbulencias, él es feliz. Tú lo escuchas gritar y reír. Lo hemos llevado a Disney. Se ha subido al roller coaster, se ha subido al elefante que vuela. También fuimos a Gatorland y se subió a un zipline y abajo había muchos alligators. Hemos ido a Bahamas, hemos ido a Jamaica, hemos estado en Playa del Carmen, las Islas Caimanes. Hemos estado en varios lugares, ha nadado con delfines. Y como en 3 o 4 ocasiones hemos estado en México. Y le digo, Chris, ¿quieres viajar? Y siempre me mira y se sonríe. Ya, vamos a ir a Cancún para tu cumpleaños número 16. ¿No es emocionante? Chris es una persona que le gustan las emociones fuertes. A él le gusta estar donde está todo lo que se escucha fuerte. Este fin de semana tuvo mariachi y fueron y le tocaron al pie de su cama. Y él estaba muerto de la risa porque le gusta la trompeta, le gusta todo lo que es fuerte, le gustan los tambores, todo lo que es escandaloso, a él le encanta. La gente no sabe que yo trabajo, tengo hasta 3 trabajos para que Chris pueda viajar, para que Chris pueda hacer cosas. Para mí lo más fácil es querer a mi hijo. Lo más fácil para mí es adorar a mi hijo, es tenerle respeto, mirar que su vida sea digna, que él tenga dignidad, que tenga alegría. Para mí esa es una vida, esa es una buena vida.
Joining us now, we have Nancy Lemus, a member of the DDC Council, and Christopher Garcia, a self-advocate. How are you today?
I am well, thank you so much.
Thank you. So as a self-advocate, could you tell me about how the DDC has impacted your life and what it means to you?
The Disability Council is very, very important to me. It has taught me how to be efficient, how to be assertive, and how to get my message across in a way that it's empathetic and that people can really understand why we do the things that we do. I'm also a graduate of Partners in Policy Making, which is it's a pretty intensive training of advocacy, and they teach you how to be efficient, how to be precise, and how to know how to reach out to legislators in a way that they can understand what your needs are, because a lot of times legislators don't really understand what the needs of the community are, especially in the disability world, because there's a lot of things that people assume that happen in the disability world and they don't. So you have to constantly have to advocate for yourself when you are a person with disabilities. And even if you're not a person with disabilities, you have to always be advocating for whatever's gonna be better for you.
Right. So we just got finished watching the Live Your Best Life video. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
So for us, I think it was pretty fun. The council has really, in the past 5 years, the council has really tried to make sure that they're reaching everybody, that the language is not a barrier. I come from I am Mexican, so my background is that I am Hispanic and y hablo español. So we want to make sure that all communities know that we're there, that they can reach us, and that even if English is a second language to them, that we're doing everything we can so that we can reach everybody, so that nobody goes unserviced. And that's why we have Emmanuel, and that makes a big difference, because now people can actually call the council and say, I need this resource, I don't know where to go, and then Emmanuel can actually get them to where they need to go. Where I think at the beginning, there was a lot of resources, but not as efficient as we are now with Emmanuel in the position that he's in. He really makes sure that nobody goes without the services that they need.
Wow, it sounds like Emmanuel is making a huge impact when it comes to the DDC. All right, well, next up, we have the Love Better Together video. Let's take a look at that.
We've been together for
20 years.
20 years.
And married 4 years.
We actually met at Bank of America.
MBNA
at the time.
Leslie.
Laura.
Well, we met on the dating site on Facebook a little over a month ago. She was persistent. She was very persistent. We've been pretty much inseparable since.
I have been with my wife for 39 years.
When I first met Bill, I was newly divorced. We were in our 30s. We weren't fresh out of high school or anything.
I invited him over to my 19th birthday party. And ever since then, I fell in love with him.
She took me to the riverfront. What was that place called? Timothy's. And we had lunch. I'm pretty sure my profile said no hiking, but she tricked me and made me park the car all the way on one side and we walked to the other. And I was like, don't think I didn't notice what you did there.
I mean, I always liked her from the very beginning, and it's just that I just couldn't stop loving her from the beginning.
Okay, who's more romantic?
He is very romantic. He loves to cook. I help him cook.
It's not all about the romantic. It's more of, the simple romantic, if that's even a thing anymore.
I don't know, what is romance? Sometimes it can be cooking together, or it can be, sitting out in the yard. It can be playing with the dogs.
Just writing a little note.
I save all the notes, they're on my mirror.
Going for a drive.
Packing a lunch.
Sometimes it's sitting in 2 separate rooms because we don't like the same thing on TV. So
I love the fact that he's very strong, kind eyes, sensitive, and tall enough to reach the high shelves. Anytime that each other were hurt, we were always there for each other.
I mean, she's always there for me no matter what. That's how I know that she was the one.
You never know with online dating and who you're going to meet and what they're like in person. I found a keeper.
Well, she's compassionate in just about everything she does.
So you like my compassion, huh? I really, really appreciate and love that Bill never stops me from doing any of those compassionate or passionate things. And he takes the dog for a walk.
Both dogs.
Both dogs, yes.
Don't move so fast. I ended up with people that I don't need to surround myself around. And I'm finally at the point where I need to settle down and plan my future out.
Just because you have a disability does not mean you can't be married.
If you really true love somebody, everybody should be getting married. Just follow your heart. Wherever your heart leads, just follow that.
So I see that there's a video called Really? Really? Could you tell me a little bit about the thought process behind that video and the title as well?
Yes, really is one of our most valuable possessions. The title of that video is exactly what it is, really. Because people tend to do a lot of things to people with disabilities or around people with disabilities where people would do them and you would literally want to look at them and say, really? So the segment that is portrayed shows different examples of situations that people with disabilities are in where things happen to them. You'll see in the scene where we have a gentleman, one of our council members is literally opening the door for himself and a couple comes by and sneaks in and says, thank you, but they don't really realize that he is struggling to open the door for himself. And I don't want to give all away other secrets, but that is the whole focus behind the video.
Well, let's not give it all away, so let's check out Really right now.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I have to ask, are you two married?
Why, yes, we are.
Oh my God, that is so wonderful. You're such a saint.
I've been taking care of him for nearly 40 years.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks a lot. Jeez. You're welcome. Do I look like a coat rack to you?
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, that really happens.
Emmanuel, what would you like your viewers to take away from this project?
We hope that our viewers will take away the fact that whether you have a disability or not, that we all have pride, especially those with disabilities, to be comfortable in who they are and what they have to offer.
What's next for the DDC?
I think next for the DDC is one of the biggest things that the DDC does is that they work together with other agencies, and this collaboration also makes it so that the tables are always getting longer and that we always have somebody at the table that can always advocate for people with disabilities, so that we can make sure that our, what is it, Emmanuel, that they say, nothing for us without us?
You got it, you got it.
And I think that collaboration also has really enlightened a lot of issues that we have in the disability world, where me as a caregiver, as a mother, I have issues with Christopher as a young man, which we can relate to Emmanuel, that he went through these things when he was a young man, when he was Christopher's age, and that some things haven't changed. So with having me and Emmanuel at the table with people that are in position to make changes, I think we have struck a couple nerves, and we're getting some really good stuff done, and that's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning. I love that. All right, and Emmanuel, last question. What do you see next for the DDC?
So for us, our hope is that we continue this disability pride movement, because it is a movement. We call it a campaign, but it's really a movement. Coming up next, we're actually going to take a deeper dive into this whole thing, disability pride. So be on the lookout for us to really spreading the pride over the next couple of years.
Well, this organization definitely has a lot of pride to spread throughout Delaware and the entire community. Thank you so much for joining us.
I am Kayla Kosmalski. I'm in 9th grade and I am 15 years old. I make honor roll in high school. I am going to be amazing sophomore. I love to do cheer and hang out with my friends. I'm gonna take driver's ed this year. It's gonna be amazing. I see people looking at me, oh, that girl is rocking that pink car. I have all the social media, TikTok, I have Snapchat, I have Instagram, because you can connect with people, and I love to dance because it brings me good mood. I am a Down syndrome girl. Having Down syndrome is great for me. We all have differences. We try our hardest, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm the first daughter with a disability, and I love my mom so much. She is amazing. She gives people back with charities, with Down syndrome, with autism, with wheelchairs, and we do things with 321, which is nonprofit with a disability. My dad is the president of it, and we do fundraisers. We went to Washington, D.C., and we met with Joe Biden. He was been my hero since when I was like 5 or 6 or 7. Kayla's Law helps people with disabilities and save money. It's a big deal. It's important. I was super, super proud of myself. Well, my favorite thing to do for cheer is to smile and to do the cheers and practicing the cheers. I say to my mother, whenever I go to cheer, don't be stressed, Mom. You're my hero, and you always keep me smiling no matter what. And she's been a rock star. She's so inspirational. I want to be a person who helps people. I want to make people happy because it brings me good energy, and I love it.